Andy Stevenson for SevereMMA at SBG HQ, standing alongside the undefeated Darragh Kelly, who's taken on Kye Stevens on Friday, September 23rd at Bellator Dublin. Darragh, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Tired.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Yeah, a long camp. I'm ready to go now at this stage. Yeah.
So how you've known about this fight for a long time. I was just speaking with Kieran Clark. He's known about his 15 weeks. It's been a long old slog for camp, has it?
Oh, God, it's been a long one. Do you know, it looms, you can't go straight into camp when 15 weeks out, but it looms over you, so you feel guilty going out and eating your pizzas, and so you feel mentally like you've been in camp the whole time.
Does that make you, like, once it gets to this point where we're 2 weeks out, a little over 2 weeks out, are you kind of chomping at the bit to get in there? Like, do you feel a switch turn at all, or is it kind of gradually building towards it?
Oh, definitely now. This last few weeks, I think it all changed for me when I went to Cardiff with Darragh Kelly, and then I started getting excited. It all kind of kicked in. It's going to be me in a few weeks' time now, and
I mean, what a performance to get excited about as well.
I was saying I've got a lot to match now after that performance, so we'll see.
Yeah, what was it like being over there cornering for Nathan?
Ah, brilliant. Nathan's like, you see a lot of different energies on fight week, and Nathan's a man who just gets excited. He can't wait. He's a good energy to be around. I think he's got the perfect mentality for fighting.
Yeah, and like, you've known about this one for a long time. Compared to going into your pro debut, signing with Bellator, or your first fight with Bellator, is there a big difference between the two? Did you know about that one for long ahead of it?
I'd say that one was a wee bit closer, maybe 10 or 11 weeks. So that would have been a bit better for me personally, but Yeah, and look, a great debut win
over Junior Morgan. 2 minutes is all it took. Less than 2 minutes is all it took. How happy were you? We spoke with you on the night, but how happy are you looking back at that performance?
Yeah, well, like, obviously I'm going to take a finish in less than 2 minutes, as you say, but it kind of feels like we talked about before about inactivity, and I would have liked to have been in there a bit longer, caused a bit more damage, maybe put on a bit more of a show. There's a few hundred come down from Donegal, and for a minute 40, whatever it was, I would have liked to put on a bit more of a show, but I'll take that anytime it comes at the end of the day.
Is it because, like, do you feel it's almost forgotten about at this point, or why do you feel, what are the thoughts around that?
Well, what was that, 6 months ago? People soon forget. Like, I want to keep the ball rolling. I'd love to be more active. If I could get 2 or 3 of them in quick succession, people will get talking. But after 6 months, the hype's kind of died down. Now I'm going to have to do the same again. So,
yeah, you joined us on the L Triangle there not too long ago, or I suppose it was a while ago now. At this point, it was just after the win. But you talked about wanting to fight 4 or 5 times. Like, why is it so important to you to be active at this point in your career?
Well, I think this is the most important part of your career. Really getting your name out there, showing everyone who you are, what you're about. I see other young prospects on different promotions, and I see them fighting 5 times a year, and I want the same. So hopefully now I get another good win in this, and Bellator will get me out more often.
I believe there's a card in Milan just after. So are you kind of eyeing that card up?
That would be ideal if I could get matched on that. Bang 2 out now before the end of the year, 2 paydays. That would be great.
Yeah. Look, 10 fights, 10 finishes. You've had a phenomenal amateur career moving into your pro career as well. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit before about injuries that you've kind of gone through throughout your career so far, where you had a string of activity over 1 year in 2018, but then it's been kind of stop-start since then. Does that play into the frustration around the inactivity?
Yeah, well, as we said, like, I had 6 fights in 2018. I was banging them out. I think that's when I'm at my best. I'm the last 2 years I've had 4 fights. It's not enough. I'm in the gym every day, 3 times a day, grinding. I'm still putting in the work, but I'm just reaping less of the reward. That's the way I feel. I feel like I'm putting in all the work. Put me out there. Let me get the wins. Let me get my reward.
Coming into this fight against Kye Stevens, have you looked at him much? Do you know much about him?
Yeah, I've watched a few of his fights. Me and Dave have gone through him. He's a good boxer. He's nice hands. Throws a few kicks. He seems to have good power in his hands, but I just don't see him being able to stop my takedowns, and I think it's going to be another early finish. So
you're predicting the 11th finish of your career?
I'm always going to predict the finish. That's what I'm coming for. Like,
You talked just there though. Would you prefer, like, are you going in here to finish, or when you've come out of a fight where you've had 2 minutes and then you're thinking, Jesus, I want another 13? Would you prefer almost to go in here and have 15 minutes?
Well, there's me saying that and I'm contradicting myself. I'm going in to finish him as soon as I can, like, but hopefully the way I see it, like, I would have liked Junior to be able to take a bit more fight, bite down his gum sheet, come back at me, you know, a bit more fight out of him. But I'm coming in, I'm going to go at him. I'm looking for my 11th finish. You know, I haven't gone to the decision, as you said, so hopefully, and I think he will. I think Kye will have a bit more fight in him, but I'm coming for the finish. So
on the ground or on the feet?
It's going to be on the ground.
Ground and pound or submission?
I would say a few heavy shots will open up the opportunity for a sub.
Yeah. You talked about your starting base for MMA was an overhand right out in the streets. Where would you say your strongest facet of martial arts is right now?
Well, back then it was definitely the overhand. Plenty of knockouts on my street record, but 0 so far in MMA. So we'll see. I have been working a lot on my striking, and I've definitely got the power to put boys out. But I just think it's my safest. What would you say? My safest way to victory is definitely on the ground.
Yeah, and how excited are you to get back in there in front of a packed out crowd?
Well, as I said to you, we do all this training all year round, and we get 2 nights of the year to enjoy. That's the fun part. I'm getting really excited now to get out in front of everyone.
Yeah, and are you excited about the rest of the card? There's a lot of SBG fighters on there. Peter Queally headlining against Benson Henderson. How do you see that fight going?
I think Peter's a dog. Like, you've seen his performances against Pitbull. People were counting them out. You can never count Peter out. I think that's going to be a dog fight that Peter's going to come out on top.
Yeah. Before we head off, I just wanted to ask as well, no nickname. Have you ever had a nickname in fighting or no?
Well, Jordan Fury put a nickname on me.
What's the nickname?
So that was for the last one, the Moville Mauler.
The Moville Mauler. What's, if you could describe Moville and Donegal, how would you describe it?
Well, I'm very biased. I think it's the best spot there is. So it's a nice town, very scenic. We're 25 minutes away from Derry. Great spot.
Yeah. And so you don't miss home there, or you do? I imagine you miss home when you're living down in Dublin now, right?
I live in Dublin, but I go home every weekend, so straight back up the road any time I get a chance.
Yeah, and following the last win, you signed the multi-fight deal. I'm sure that was a big boost. How much longer does that go on there for now?
So it's a 4-fight deal. This is the first of the 4, so 18 months is what the contract is.
Yeah, and if you could send a message to the Moville Massive, we'll call them, coming down to Dublin, what can they expect on Friday the 23rd of September?
Action from the start, bell to bell. We'll see how long you can last, because I've got the cardio to go 15. I'm gonna look to damage him in there.
Well, Darragh, really appreciate the time. Darragh Kelly fighting on Friday the 23rd of September in Bellator Dublin. Tune in and we'll chat to you soon. Thanks, Darragh.